For a century, Johannesburg Child Welfare has advocated for the care and needs of thousands of vulnerable children. One of the areas they specialize in is adoption of children who are either orphaned, surrendered, or removed from hostile environments.
What is the current situation in South Africa? Is there a healthy balance between children that are needing homes, children in the welfare system, and parents that are wanting to adopt children? Or is there a disconnect, and why?
Unfortunately, there is a disconnect. In South Africa, we have a very unique situation in that we have large numbers of children, black children, waiting for families, and very few families coming forward to adopt those children. Whereas in the white, coloured and Indian communities, we have very, very few children with large numbers of families wanting to adopt those children.
Because South Africa is such a diverse population, one of the greatest obstacles hindering our adoption rate is ethnic and cultural barriers.
What perceptions are you looking to change when it comes to adoption in South Africa?
In the black community, there's still quite a stigma towards adoption of a child that's not related to you. And there's this feeling that possibly the child will not carry the bloodline, the ancestors might be angry. So there's a lot of cultural barriers at this stage towards adopting a child in the formal system.
Families or individuals who are seeking to adopt must pass through successful screenings to ensure that the child is placed in a loving and secure household.
What is the basic process of adopting a child, and how long can this typical application take?
All prospective adoptive parents do need to go through a screening process. That is a requirement. And I think adoption agencies are often criticised, for putting families through all this red tape and getting them to jump through all the hoops. But I think if one realises that we're actually speaking for these children and we're making lifelong decisions for a child who has no one else to make those decisions, we really have a responsibility to make absolutely sure that we're finding the best possible family.
After a 7-year struggle with infertility and multiple miscarriages, Sharon van Wyk embarked on a journey to adoption. She started her website, Trinity Heart, as a dedicated resource center for South Africans on the subject of adoption.
When did you realize that adoption is an option?
I have 2 adopted cousins. So adoption was always something that I was open to. Even as a young girl growing up, I always thought it was such a special thing. And when I had my first miscarriage, I had this gut feeling that something was wrong and that adoption was the path we were meant to go on. And I already then started speaking to Walter about it. But it is a process for a lot of people. It's not, you don't just wake up one day and say, oh, well, I think I'll adopt. And Walter wasn't quite on the same page as me. And after our 7th miscarriage, he actually came to me and said, it's quite a funny story. We had a dog that he didn't want, and I insisted we get this dog, and he fell in love with the dog. And when we had to come time to put the dog down, he realized that if he could love a dog that much, he could love a child, even if it wasn't genetically his own the same. And that day he came to me and he said, fine, I'm ready. Let's start the process.
Sharon and her husband's first daughter, Ava Grace, came into their lives quite unexpectedly in what can only be described as an adoption miracle.
Tell us about the day that you heard your first adoption process was successful. I mean, how did you feel? And how long after that did you become parents?
Ava's placement is quite an incredible story. It is the exception. I really want to state that. It is the exception and not the norm. After 2 weeks, one Monday morning, I was at work and she phoned me and said, you've been selected. Can you fly to Cape Town on Friday to come and meet the birth mum on Saturday? Because her baby's due next week. The 17th of December, I'll never forget it. And then on Sunday morning at 20 to 6, Ava was born that day. So it was 3 weeks from start to, 3 weeks from start to finish.
The Van Wyk's second adoption took much longer, 2 years in fact. Hannah joined the family earlier this year, and Sharon feels her family is complete.
What would your message be to people that want to have children, but that can't do so naturally?
Don't be scared. Don't be afraid, and don't limit your miracle. I would really say to people to try and open your hearts, because these little children, they will just change your life, your perception, everything. So just open your heart and just go with it. Don't let fear stand in your way.
The adoption journey can be very daunting. It's emotionally and spiritually taxing. But the reward of building a family and providing a child with a loving home is greater than you can imagine.